What's up, family?
What's up, everybody?
Look, happy Monday, and Bryan is on assignment. Marcus is working as well, so you got us too. The one of the original O&G StrikeZone leaders right here. The alternative. I come in there once in a while, but we got some friends of the FAMU as well returning back. To Shay, look, she here, and everybody's favorite. Look, he got the best weave in the business, Uncle Steve.
Come on, man.
Y'all looking good too, Rattlers. More than what we can say about that team.
Yeah, they look good, all right. Good and terrible.
Well, they gave us 2 quarters though.
They did.
Two of the best quarters of defense that we played in the last 2 years. And I told Jose that. I did tell him that. I did tell him that in the press conference. The best half of defensive football, needless to say, it didn't carry over to the second half. And of course, we're gonna talk about that.
Oh, absolutely.
absolutely. So as y'all come in, y'all know we don't duck no smoke. So the comments will be on, but be on your best behavior. That's all I can say. Don't start no fights you can't finish, because if you start a fight and it's somebody bigger than me, you might just be getting your tail whooped. I ain't jumping in there for free. I'm sorry. But on Monday, after FAMU comes away with, a loss against probably the trash talking this group, but that has backed it up. They've earned the right to talk the trash. Absolutely. So you want to stop somebody from talking trash, you got to beat them. And in this case, the Rattlers did less than beat them. So kind of looking at there, we introduced everybody here. Quick recap. We're looking at a first half stats there. Uncle Steve, you started off. First half looked actually kind of promising. How did you feel about that first quarter there?
Well, here was the thing. So I'm sitting on the sidelines. Of course, everybody knows I'm from Jackson. I'm literally standing in front of all the Sonic Boom of the South, all the Jackson State fans. Everybody screaming my name. Either you know me from Jackson or you know me from social media. So I'm sitting up here like saying a prayer. Let's just, keep it close. And, because here's the thing. When these type of games, we know how it has to go. We saw it with Delaware State, with Central. We saw it with Brown. And I'm talking about overwhelming favorites. You got to stay in the game, hope for a turnover, get to the fourth quarter. The first quarter, they start and we get a turnover. I'm like, okay, this is what we need. Yeah. And I'm looking back at my Jackson State folks saying, we here to play a football game. So, that's why I'm like, okay, the club bragging, you know what I'm saying? The Marching 100 finally in a fight, you know what I mean? They know they got the boom across from you. You could feel the energy in the building. And when we got that, because here was the thing, of course they had drove down the field. So you were like, here we go. But when we got that turnover, it was one of those things I said, okay, this is how we're going to start off. And I'm looking for, and again, I'll let you guys, because I don't want to overwhelm it. I'm saying now we're going to come with a big play. Needless to say, we did not.
Yeah. I'll go, and I'll just say this. We look like what we've looked like the entire season, especially against quality competition. We always get off the slow starts. We don't score touchdowns in the first half. We just don't. We've done that twice, I think, all year. Scored an actual touchdown in the first half. So, but our defense showed up that first half, and some things that just stood out. We were 0 for 3 in third downs in the first quarter, and we were 1 for 11 for the whole entire game. We had a total of like 202 yards or so for the game. I mean, that just ain't gonna cut it, man. When you're the underdog and you're trying to pull an upset. And so I was disappointed in our offensive approach to the game, because it made no sense to me, frankly. That first half, with a freshman quarterback, what you want to see is the team be aggressive, right? We need to try to score, get him behind, and make them panic, make them blink. And instead, we took the conservative opposite approach. Man, let's just play defense, punt the ball, and hang in there. And I knew we had no shot for 4 quarters of being able to be competitive and win that way. So, just the mindset of our offensive program. And then the last thing I'll say right here, our ability to adjust. I know we ain't got to the second half yet, but we've really had issues with making adjustments. After halftime, Jackson State made some adjustments. We made no adjustments, and separation happened.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Tasha.
So I have been a big proponent all year of us starting off. I know it's, especially defensive minded coaches, they want to start off on defense, right? Because they want to be able to get the ball after the half. But what I noticed, I had said it first, and then when it happened, I noticed that RJ would be able to kind of work his kinks out if we went out on offense first. And so we get the ball, we drive, and I believe we go up with at 3. We score first. And so I was like, okay. Then the defensive play where Nayron forces the fumble on the goal line. And I was like, oh. I'm like, okay, I'm starting to see, and then we get the ball again. And I don't know if we got past the 50 again until like
the end of the game.
Literally. And I was just like, I think was the most frustrating part for me is all of us looking and seeing that a certain play was not working, but continuously calling this same play over and over again on first down. You know which one. And I'm just like, it didn't work then, it didn't work. Like, what are we doing? And then I also kind of was looking at, because I have went to the game in Baton Rouge, and the morale of the team in a way that I shouldn't say morale, because they were still in. They were like, the morale was high, but the way that everybody was really engaged at the line of scrimmage, the receivers were blocking, tight ends were blocking. I did not see that same thing in this particular game, and that I was like, we need all 11, everybody on the field has to be engaged and doing what they need to be doing if we're gonna win this game. And I just didn't see it, so I feel like everything was going in our favor, but we just shot ourselves in the foot continuously over and over again. Stalling out them drives. I'm like, the defense is playing the best that they played that I've seen them this year alone, definitely. But our offense just did not offer any help. And that was not just, in players, that was also in our play calling.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think as Kelvin mentioned, just kind of looking back, and when Kelvin mentioned that stat, I kind of had to go back and look. We haven't scored a touchdown in the first quarter at all this season. That's endemic of an offense that is not only struggling, but it's also systematic of an offense that's not going to do anything, if we're being honest. And you're kind of looking and you're watching the game. I was like you, Uncle Steve, like we're watching that fumble happens and Nayron forces a fumble. And I mean, your defensive leader, who really should have been starting all season long, I'm gonna leave that alone, but he comes in there, he makes a huge play, and all of a sudden the stadium gets life. And a person who literally just got burnt and consistently gets burnt recovers a fumble, and you can see his confidence picks up. And all of a sudden you can see where things like that, they are not only endemic of a team that needs it, but it's also something that gives life to the team. And you can see where off of that one play, you really held Jackson to 10 points for the entire first half. And so, and at the end, you kind of messed it up. Like, you definitely pooped the bed there. But much to Shay's point, I'm on the opposite. I like us to defer, because I do kind of like for RJ to get the ball back, but I also, what happened at the end of halftime is why I love for us to kick the ball, because I felt like we were too conservative. And Gerald brought the point up in the press conference. Why didn't you try to be a little more aggressive? You're not getting the ball back going in the half. Why are you taking a knee? I mean, I understand you trying to be conservative, but scared money don't make money. And
Amen.
You have an offense that is overly conservative. You're running a halfback dive, halfback something up the middle, first down every play. The offense was scripted. Like, Kelvin was nice, but y'all know we don't duck smoke. And we're gonna tell you, and I'm gonna tell you if you're from Tallahassee, you know this name. Manley Woodson would say this all the time. I'm gonna tell it like a TS Tiz. And so, and Officer Manley Woodson would. And the offense was formulaic. First play, there was a run play up the middle. Second play, you had a pass. Third down, you threw a screen. Same plays for pretty much 3/4 of the game. So at first, did you have Jackson kind of on their heels a little bit, because much to, as Steve pointed out, their quarterback was showing all the mistakes that RJ has shown us for weeks.
Yeah.
Where it's like, hey, overthrowing guys, but you're not having turnovers, not making some of those mistakes. He made those mistakes. But then what you saw in the second half, much to Kelvin's point, was the adjustments started happening on their end. And on FAMU's side, you saw again where we made no adjustments, not only from the first quarter to the fourth quarter, but from game to game.
Yeah.
You ran up there with the same defense, 3 down linemen, and all of a sudden, I don't know if y'all listen to the commentator. The commentator is saying everything the fans are saying.
Yeah.
Why are you doing this? Why are you doing that? Hey, why you got this? This guy can't set the edge because he's too small. Like, and so the worst part of watching the game, not in brag and listening to it as a fan at home, was everything we say here and we say in the stands. The commentator who played at Florida State with some of them folks said the same things we said. So I think, first half, it gave me a lot of hope, but in the end, I didn't see enough to really keep me excited, and it turned out to be a boring game if you're a FAMU fan.
I want to make a point that you made, and I hear people in chat. You said, well, why didn't we do something with 18 seconds left? And I'm in this press conference, and Coach said, well, we don't want to get mine. See, listen, man, this is FAMU. If you trust and I'm going to say this because we got a lot of my Jack State folks in, I'm going to tell you the difference in the game. When you trust your quarterback, you will go out there and make plays.
Yeah.
TC Taylor trusts his quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
He let him throw the ball down the field. We don't trust our quarterback because our quarterback has not shown the ability to make those plays. And I'm going to keep saying this. I don't want to hear nothing about RJ ain't throwing but one interception. It is easy not to throw one interception when you don't throw a pass 5 yards. Ain't nobody intercept the ball.
That's it.
Ain't nobody intercept the ball. So I don't want to hear that stat no more about RJ keeping the ball, not turning the ball over. This was one of those games because the bottom line was this, and this was no secret. Jack State was the better team coming into it. It was no doubt about it. They had the mojo. They had a bigger offensive line, their defensive line. So the only way you were going to beat those guys was by quick strike, big
explosive plays.
Point blank period. And you saw, and the thing about it, you saw a tell, and I'm on both sidelines, and people know it. I'm sitting over there asking, because I wanted to see what the Jack State people. Rembrandt literally told Lockhart, "Throw me the ball." And guess what? Down the line. This is what the Jack State guy said. Don't be scared. He told him, don't be scared to throw the ball. I literally saw Rembrandt tell a freshman that. Our guy is like doing this. So again, when we turn the ball over, this is the time where you got to try to strike. You got to try to strike. With that big play, hey, you know what? Because again, like Tasha say, like he said, it was so scripted. And Cozy said it. Well, we ran the ball consistently on first down. And I really don't know why we did it. You don't know why. Henry Burris is your coach.
He know why. He didn't want to own it. He didn't want to own it. That's what it comes down to, man. So we don't open up the can of worms. Let's finish this thing up, right?
Let's do it.
So the reality is that our talent level can't overcome our coaching. So we have to be aggressive. Keith said, "Scared money don't make money." You dead on. Our only real shot was we have some guys who can make plays if they catch the ball in open field, get it to them. But from a coaching standpoint, let me just point some things out that we were doing offensively in our first half. So Jackson State has a pretty stout front seven, and they're pretty quick at linebacker and so forth. So why would you run side east west?
I don't.
We running tall sweeps to the short side of the field.
I don't understand that.
I don't understand. What we did made no sense for what they do and what their strengths are. If you got a fast front, you want to go at them. You got to go downfield. And a few times we did have success was when we went after them, when Thad ran north-south, when we hit receivers down the field. Not to the side. So, that's common sense. If we can sit here and talk intelligently and break it down like this about what should have been the game plan, I don't understand guys who that's all they do. That's their job. How they don't see that. And then the difference between TC and Coach, You got an offensive coach and an offensive-minded coach.
Yep.
Versus a defensive coach and a defensive-minded coach, even though we got a jacked up defense.
Yeah, and part of that, and I guess we can start to transition towards halftime. But when you were looking at the defense again, it doesn't make sense, partially because, much as you stated, it's almost like you didn't freaking scout Jackson State. Like, they're recruiting a lot of the same kids we're recruiting. They got Florida speed too. So it's not like, oh, they just ain't got no guys from the South, from our area that can run with our guys. But additionally, you attack the strength of their defense. You literally said, we're just going to run the ball right at them, when that's their known strength. And additionally, like you said, you're running east-west instead of north-south. And we'll show some of the plays of us running north-south. But it's just like, you didn't scout this team. Like, and there's no way on this side of heaven you can lie and tell me that. Like, because it don't make good nonsense for a lot of what we did. Like, it was putting the cart before the horse, and that's me cleaning up saying something is A backwards. But you literally did that most of the game. Like, you're watching the concepts, you're watching what's happening. We had some good plays, but as you mentioned, our best plays happen when we attack that defense. And, going forward, if this is what we're going to see, man, we get a new athletic director in by the end of the week. It's going to be some tough conversations, and they're going to have a little powwow and do whatever Seminoles do. But one of them things these Seminoles is winning. And let's call a spade a spade. Whoever the next person is, they need to be offensively minded, because FAMU has never won anything with a defensive minded coach.
You can't be you cannot be a Florida team and not be explosive.
That's it.
I mean, that's the bottom line. Florida's known for speed.
Absolutely.
And we need proven winners.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So going into the second half, Oh, what you say, Uncle Steve? You got this? No, you got this.
You know what? Literally to say, because that's actually going to lead into something I'm going to say. So go ahead.
Okay, going to the second half, it was tight. Like, I mean, the game was, despite whatever anybody wants to say, it was 10-3. And honestly, FAMU could have done something more than that, but you have a fumble right before half, special teams wise, that kind of, is what it is. And the game just gets away from
it. No, that was third quarter.
Oh, third quarter. That's right.
So to your point, here's where something I pointed out last week and talking about this game and just the Southern game and how we play this particular team. So we lost this game, first off, with the game plan that they came up with. But in terms of on game day on the field, we lost it at the end of the second quarter and the start of the third quarter, where Jackson State was content with just running the ball and going into the halftime 3-3 and trying to, come back. They knew they would get the ball in the second half, and you figured they were going to try to, loosen us up a little bit and try to at least try us deeper once or twice. But that handoff to the running back, it was a simple play. I mean, like, they weren't trying to do anything. They weren't trying to score. They was just going to run the clock out, right? And they ran a simple read option, off tackle. Both linebackers got blocked, but the safety was the guy that was his gap, and he just took a bad angle and didn't touch the guy, and then it was a foot race. But it was a simple handoff. Mm-hmm. And it came right after, we didn't the offense, gave us a field goal. We done tied it up. Every time we've done something positive this entire season on offense, the defense come immediately back and give it back. And so then third quarter happened. They get the ball first. They go down and score. Then ensuing kickoff. We return the ball. They make a play. They get the ball at the 15. They score. Game over at that point. We're just not talented enough, and we're not well coached enough to overcome that. Mm-hmm. I don't think the discrepancy between the teams are super dynamic. They better at the line of scrimmage on both sides. Absolutely. They're bigger. Mm-hmm. But the talent gap is, if you will, coach. I mean, we can compete. It was supposed to be tied to half for a reason. It wasn't no accident. But again, they made adjustments. They came out more aggressive in the second half, and once they got up, they became confident, and our team shrunk. That's the other thing I have not seen with this team this year. Once we get down, there's no fight, man. We give up, man. We roll over. We front runners. Go ahead.
I just want to say, and I've been sitting here because I've been trying to figure out the best way to say it, I guess. But I, like you said, I knew coming into the game that, Jackson State was going to be better than us at the line of scrimmage, right? Offense and defense. So my thought, we knew this game was coming. I was always wondering or concerned about, will we game plan for that? And what I mean is the reality, and this is, I guess, what I've been pondering. The reality is we know we did not have the offensive line that would be able to stand up against the defensive line to just pound the ball straight down their throat, right? To just go run it up the middle. We just don't have it. We don't have it. And all year, I think this is the first time I'm saying, I'm just going to say it. All year, that has been kind of the rhetoric, I'm going to say, that has been centered around the offensive line. Oh, well, we got this, whatever. We don't, I don't see that. Okay. I have not seen that all year. And this is no slight at any of the players, but I'm just saying reality, right? Collectively, cohesively as a unit, we don't have that for the game plan that we seem to. And I think there was an inflated sense of self from last game against Southern because we went up against a significantly undersized defensive line, and our offensive line was kind of bullying at the line of scrimmage. But the reality is in this game that we were coming in, which is what I wanted to see if our coaches were going to be able to game plan properly, because you can't do that halfback dive that you did on the first play each time. We weren't going to be able to do that, right? I knew that. I have not coached a day or played a day of football. I knew that. So I was curious to see, because this is what you do all day, every day. You watch film and you figure out how you can get game plan for your team to win. So I thought and I entrusted that our coaches would come up with the right game plan to allow our guys to have a chance. Your defense has kept you in the game the whole first half. We knew one thing Terrenzo Quinn is going to do. He's going to adjust after the half. He's been doing it last year. I don't think until the last game did anybody score on him in the second half. That's what he does. Were we going to game plan so that we could give our guys a chance to win this game? And then, like you said, once, Seven fumbled on the goal line, on special teams, I saw the change in everybody. And because 21 points is a large deficit, especially for our team.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So that was my biggest frustration, is your job is to give your players a chance. And I just don't feel like they did.
Yeah.
Well, Kel, I'm gonna disagree with you, because again, I follow both these programs very closely. There is a huge talent gap, and once the thing about it is, and here's the thing: when you look at Jack State's offensive line, how much bigger they were in our defensive line. Now, here's the thing about, and anybody that's from Florida, and this is the Florida thing: Florida State, Miami, they've never had big defensive lines. Right. It was all about speed. It was all about getting to the football. So the thing about, we never had big, but when I see a quarterback running from our defensive lineman, that wasn't going to happen with Isaiah Major. That wasn't going to happen with Anthony Dunn. That wasn't going to happen with General Hunt. That wasn't going to happen to Isaiah Major. Guys that could run the quarterback down, that can make plays in the backfield. You don't see that with this FAMU football team. So now you don't have the Florida trait of fast, and you don't have the biggest guys. That's a recipe for disaster. Because if we've got the fast guys, at least I can beat you to your play. And what was so funny, you're sitting up here looking at Ivory and those guys on defense, it looks like FAMU in the past. They're literally sitting back there when that short pitch play to Haley that everybody knew wasn't going to work. The guy was like, "You coming here? I'm already here, bro."
Literally.
So this is the thing what we're talking about, and that's why I'm going to let you get to it. Cozy said this in the press conference. And I don't know if it was a question or you was responding. So I guess it was a question. And he said, do they have better talent? Maybe. Are they better coach? Maybe. Well, the next thing, 2 of them 3 things have something to do with you because you're recruiting the talent and you're the coach. So my thing is you got to own that. These are the guys that you recruited that are not Florida fast. Then you're looking at something that me that looks at and seen Jackson State. That is Jackson State football. T.C. Taylor knows what the DNA of Jackson State football is. Big guys up front, masters, and then we're going to get wide receivers that are professional plays. Not guys, they have fast guys like Run, but I'm talking about they have pro-looking receivers. Savage is a big guy. Paul is a big guy. These are guys that look at playing the NFL. That's Jackson State football. When you look at FAMU football, where are the guys that all of a sudden you're saying is going to make a big play? That's what we're known for. Who would they honor? Billy Joe. What was the Coast offense known for? Big plays.
Explosiveness.
Explosive plays. So out of respect, I'm not going to, it's just so obvious when you look at the two teams because I went in the stands and I said, do you see how much, I think it's 79 is their right tackle, right? And he's standing there and the dude that's standing in front of it looks like me. It's crazy. You're not going to win that battle. So that's how you get 400 yards of rushing.
Literally.
Yeah. Yep.
I mean, we let the quarterback convert on like 3rd and 17.
Yeah, but also
that was a running play. Yeah, that was a running play.
Yeah, but much to your point though, that
was off the field that could have potentially kept us in the game.
Right.
Yeah, but go back and watch number 90. Go watch your boy Donald. Like he ate. Like being real, that boy put some good film up there. Problem is he's double teamed all freaking game.
All game. Mm-hmm.
So again, that's my whole point the last couple of weeks has been pointing out that 3-down line front ain't working because even when your defensive lineman wins at the point of attack, he's overmatched. Now, when you did run a 4-down line at times, you slowed him down a little bit. Other times you didn't. But I think that's why I said I don't know what film we were watching. I don't know schematically what the heck we're doing because honestly, it looked like some stuff a JV football coach wouldn't do. And I'm trying to be respectful, but we got to be honest about this, right? Because we don't duck smoke. We tell the truth in here. We bring truth to light. We looked unprepared. Mm-hmm. And even if you have less talent, that's where coaching comes in. Because we always talk about Bill Belichick and everything he did with the Patriots. One of the best things he did was he had receivers that were thrown away. He made them stars. Wes Welker. You look at some of these guys, granted, he had those monsters at tight ends, but he had Tom Brady, a late round pick who becomes what he becomes. Like, you start seeing with great coaches, they scheme it up. Like, you're not going to beat every team that's more talented than you, but go look at schools like Vanderbilt. Go look at these schools where the teams, they line up across from the team in front of them, and they're like, yeah, I can't beat you like this, but you know what I can do? I can use the speed, and I can get the ball to my guys in space. I can line it up. I can scheme it up so that the game's close, and I don't see any schematic advantage or anything. It looks like a schematic disadvantage every Saturday.
So Tasha brought up the Southern game, and here's where the old coach in me, Steve, is why I said what I said. So the Southern game, and I said we needed to do nothing different for Jackson State that we did for Southern. One of the things we did at Southern, we ran 4 and 5 wides, but we put our receivers outside the hash. That spreaded the field and gave our guys who have speed, like a Haley, like a Rogers, Speedy Rogers, and those guys, lanes and angles that gave them an opportunity to give us those explosive plays downfield. This game, we did what we've done for the first 5 games where we were sucked. Even when we ran three receivers, we had them inside the hash, and was running bunch formations, right? Why would you bring all that front 7 inside the hash with no room and really expect to move the ball, running the ball, if that's what your intent? I mean, from a schematic and talent standpoint, it wasn't there. And unfortunately, we've seen that all year. And hey, the reality is we're at a point where a decision is going to have to be made moving forward.
Hey, Kelvin,
is that bad?
I want to point something out because you're talking about coaching. And I'm going to go back to something simple. You got Haley, right? We know he's a very fast guy. Give credit to Jackson State's front seven. It's kind of not working. But here's the thing, and you guys, and we all gonna remember this. It's one play that we literally won the Southern game, and it's one play that literally won. Why are we not running out and up with Haley and get one of their linebackers to cover this man one-on-one? We literally won the Celebration Bowl with Kevin Dean with that play. And I think that was Jennings when we ran against Southern, when we ran the same out and up play. That was wide open. I'm sitting up and looking at this is something where, okay, we can't, let's get them in here. To your point, let's have them think we're getting ready to do this, and let's run the out and up with the kid.
We ain't done that at all.
We ain't did that.
We did. He dropped the pass. We did at FAU. Thad Franklin dropped the pass. RJ threw it.
Okay,
we missed, and RJ has missed that wheel route multiple times.
It is just, that's what I'm saying. To your point, if you're going to, here's the thing, and I want to overtalk.
Yeah.
But you made such a point. If you're playing against better competition, then your scheme has to be better against their weakness. The Jackson State has a weakness. There's no perfect football team on anybody in the swag of the mix. That's why they lost games. That's why they've had close games. Because that defensive backfield is not as strong as front seven. That's no disrespect. It's a fact. They know that, and we know it. Yeah. We did not put ourselves in a position to put pressure on them to do that. That's coaching.
But that's because you don't trust your guy to be able to make that throw that far. That's, you see what I'm saying? If you exploiting the DB, you don't trust your own guy that you know what I'm saying?
What are we
is it not just that, or is he also missing?
Do you don't trust your coaches also? I mean, that's your job to prepare. Your team should look different in game 8 than they did at game 1. We look like the same team. There's no growth or significant growth anyway. The same problems, the issues we have, we still have. We still got untimely drop balls. We still take bad angles, don't make tackles. We still let receivers get behind us, man. I don't know what the safety was looking at, the pass that Remember got. They didn't even do play action on that. He just dropped by, the guy ran past him, and everybody who's coached before knows if a guy gets within 3 to 5 yards of you, you beat.
Well, Kelvin, let me tell you this. This is what's great about being on the sideline.
That's all that is.
This is what's great about being on the side. And what I'm telling you, this is true, and I know this for a fact. The team screamed, speed in the slot, speed in the slot, the whole team. And all we saw was the guys on the sideline. They literally screamed the play out because these guys ain't stupid either.
Right.
They literally said, and if you think you know I'm not going to lie.
Right.
And all I know is I'm looking because the guys are screaming because they know what's coming. And all you saw was that guy step up and Remember run right back. And all them guys just threw their helmet. Because they literally told the guy. Yeah. They screamed it.
That's all season, though.
But that's happened a couple times. Yeah, just say you was on the sideline.
They hit the zone. They in zone. All season. They've been calling the plays out. You could tell all season.
The players watch film. Our players watch film. They've been coached somewhere. I don't know if it's a FAMU, but they watch film and they know what the heck is going on. But to me, what I see, and this is why when people like the boys have no pride, that's BS. They have pride, but this is what they are. They're good soldiers. And the problem with good soldiers, sometimes good soldiers will follow a bad leader regardless of what they're telling them to do because they want to be good soldiers. And I see a lot of times, and I'm not saying our leadership is bad, but when a coach says, I didn't put them in the best position to succeed, I have no choice but to agree. Because I've been seeing that the same thing, and you're seeing it yourself. And go watch the fourth quarter. It's a hard watch. Go watch when they pan to our coach. He looks very frustrated. And honestly, he looked like he was expecting that Herm was talk in the end zone at the end of the game.
One more important point, then we can go to break. 31 seniors on this team. 31.
Yeah.
Do you know that 22 of them are on the defensive side of the ball?
Yeah.
Seniors are grad students. Do you know we lose pretty much this entire defense, linebackers line, they backups, the secondary?
But
and we average giving up 30 plus points a game. Come on.
I'm gonna ask you a question. How many of those seniors have been with us 3 years or longer?
Facts.
About 15.
I know it's transfer
15 to 20.
Okay. So when I hear them saying they're seniors and I'm proud of the young men, they're getting a degree from Florida A&M. So they are Florida A&M, they will be Florida A&M graduates. But there's a difference between a Florida A&M football player and being a Rattler. And this is the thing about it. So when you talk about those guys, They didn't go through those wars that played Jackson State 7-6, 59-3, win a championship. Because they would have been freshmen or redshirt freshmen. You see what I'm saying? And at least that 59-3 season, which would have said, hey, we can play with these guys because we beat them next year. None of those guys were there. So they don't even know what, to your point, of standing in there with that crowd going crazy, with the Sonic Boom who have been there 30 years. The Marching 100 is A on A game. You got all these people here. And to your point, hey, we just graduated. There's a difference, man. And I'm going to tell you this, and I'm going to say this again. When you go look at it, and I'm not, because again, we talk about the school, go look at these guys that graduated. Them guys been there. They know what it feels like. And TC Taylor, and I'm going to say this, and I'm going to say this out loud. When you come from it, you understand it. We ain't FSU. I'm saying this real loud. We're not FSU. You want people that want, you see FAMU's win for everybody?
Mm-hmm.
We ain't. And there's a difference when you go to Central, and I interviewed these coaches, so people can't tell me I've talked to these coaches. Mm-hmm. You know what, TC? I won't get guys from Mississippi. I won't get guys to understand what Jack State is. That's what he said on my show. Trey Oliver, my guy, I don't do that portal stuff. I get walk-ons. I get high school guys. Because both of those teams, you're seeing the same thing. You're going to start seeing things with Sean Jackson, getting guys that want to be at Delaware, not end up at Delaware. See, we got guys that ended up at FAMU.
That's good.
So I'm going to leave it at that.
Yeah, and we do have a few though. You know, Nayron, he was definitely there. I got a picture of him, and at Celebration Bowl. But you're right, a lot of those guys, they haven't been here more than 2 years, so they missed that experience of the Celebration Bowl. And most of them that come to FAMU, they enjoy the FAMU experience. But I do feel like they've been cheated a little bit with this experience under this regime.
Right, because we talk about what the coaches don't. I mean, what the players don't know, but a lot of that coaching staff don't know either. They not FAMU. And what I mean is not graduates of FAMU, but understanding and responding and making sure that their players and their team understand that, wearing that orange and green is a privilege. And it's not just expectations. It's about excellence. You got to perform. All right, Keith. We don't go it out.
All right, y'all. So look, we've talked about it. We were about to hit break, man. Fourth quarter, FAMU loses to Jackson State. We're gonna give y'all a good 2-minute break. That way, y'all can get to the restroom, warm food, everything like that. And when we come back, we're gonna be talking about what you see is what you get. Talked about some of the plays, but we're gonna view them and kind of see what we see. And we got some football experts here, so we're gonna let them talk about it and break it down the film. All right, y'all. We're back here Monday night review. O&G StrikeZone, FangsUp, Fang Exchange. Uncle Steve, the Coaches Review Show. Look, you got big shots up here today, man. Y'all better hang on. Come back after the break.
This is the Dean of the College of HBCU Sports, Kenyatta Cavill of Dr. Cavill's Inside the HBCU Sports Lab with Mike Washington and Charles Bishop. Come mix it up in the lab where the course lecture is in session every Tuesday from 6 o'clock p.m. Central Standard Time on Facebook Live, YouTube Spreaker, or the BCSN app, as we discuss all things about the HBCU sports culture, including exploring the week that was in the sporting HBCU diaspora, as well as the upcoming week of HBCU sports. With me, the Dean, the College of HBCU Sports, on Dr. Cavill's Inside the HBCU Sports Lab with Mike Washington and Charles Bishop. Course lecture dismissed.
It's never too early to plant the seed, to share the tradition, and instill a sense of pride in your HBCU with your little ones. HBCU Pride and Joy Children's Boutique helps you share your school spirit with a wide selection of adorable kids apparel and accessories officially licensed from your favorite HBCU. Visit hbcupridejoy.com and follow us on all social media at HBCU Pride Joy on Facebook and Twitter.
For over 30 years, HBCU Image has been more than just an apparel store. We've been a movement, a statement, a legacy. We celebrate the pride, the purpose, and the culture that make historically black colleges and universities legendary. Whether you're a student or a lifelong supporter, our gear lets you wear your HBCU story with confidence and style. Because when you wear HBCU image, you're not just wearing clothes. You're wearing culture. You're wearing pride. You're wearing purpose. HBCU.
College football fans, the Cricket Celebration Bowl is celebrating 10 years of crowning an HBCU national champion. A champion will rise at Mercedes-Benz Stadium on December 13th as the MEAC and SWAC champions clash in Atlanta. Join us for championship football, interactive fan experiences, and iconic marching bands. It's an HBCU family reunion that you don't want to miss. See who will be crowned the next HBCU national champion. For event and ticket information, visit thecelebrationbowl.com.
All right. We back. And look,
Keith,
you know.
Can I respond to something real quick?
Absolutely. I ain't been checking the comments.
Okay, so listen. Okay, little history lesson. First of all, when Billy Joe was coaching, you could not transfer. You had to sit out unless you transferred down. So we did not have 40 and 50 transfers. Okay. So we had selective transfers when Billy Joe was coaching. So there was no transfer portal in. So there was not a bunch of guys. He had select guys that came down. And hear what I said. Select guys. The same thing with Coach Simmons. These were guys that he actually recruited to come to FAMU that didn't come to FAMU. He said, come back to Tallahassee. That's what I'm talking about. So, yes, did Willie have portal guys? But these were guys that he had already evaluated from a high school level that he had watched. Freshman, sophomore, junior year in their high school, they said, Coach, we're going to X school. And he said, come on back to Tallahassee or come on back to Florida. But the bottom line, it was built off of guys that either had an association with FAMU, either by starting with FAMU, or kids that we thought were deemed to be Rattlers. That's what I'm talking about. This thing here, what we got now is every year we got 30, 40 guys that are leaving teams. And Doug Williams said, and why they leaving? Because they can't play. You don't see the great teams. It's different. Jackson State, smart. They got 4, 5, 6 guys. You get a Savage. You get a Quincy Ivory. You get a Rembrandt. Guys that actually played. Okay, you go look at Central. You go look at those guys that actually play. We get 1 or 2 guys, but when you're getting 30 to 40 guys, that is not building culture. That is not building where you know what these guys can do, and that's what I'm talking about. So I wanted to be, but like I say, you could be there, but come on, bro. Okay, thank you. Yeah, because I'm saying further, there was no portal during Billy Joe, so you couldn't say Billy Joe was running 40, 50 guys through there because there was no transfer portal. So that's what I'm talking about. And I think what Kelvin and all of us are saying, there is for great championship teams, for especially that are traditional late in championship teams, like Florida A&M football, you have to know what that means. And to Kelvin's point, Florida A&M football players don't give up. They don't sit back here like, oh, it's over. Because they know they got to go back to their club and like, bro, I saw you give up. And these are people that you've been with 3 or 4 years. Listen, man, my boy, Tony Izell was my quarterback. You don't think Tony, we lost that game? We see Tony at FBI, bro. Izell. See, you got to do it. His girlfriend's my
yes, sir.
Can you talk to your boyfriend tell him to play better? This is the stuff that you used to get.
It was different, man.
Make sure y'all don't see each other on Thursday night. My man got to be right on Saturday.
And the band would get it too.
And
like
also that, to your point, Mr. Campbell, a lot of the guys he brought back, the Marcus Rileys, the Jaquez Yance, those people are from Tallahassee. They understand the pageantry. They understand the seriousness of FAMU football. So, yeah, they may have gone away, but Coach Riz and Coach Simmons, they were bringing back guys to Tallahassee that understand the true culture of FAMU football. So, yes, and also it was more of a plug-in type of thing. It wasn't, like you said, rebuilding a whole team with 30 and 40 transfer portal players. Is here and there. You know what I'm saying? But the core of the team, a lot of them team were there, walk-ons from Alex Wood, Bishop Bonnet, Xavier Smith. Those were, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. These were kids that had been in that program for years that came through that program. He wasn't just bringing in the, so, it
was their dream. It was their dream to put on that orange and green and run through that smoke.
With no scholarship.
Yeah. You know what I mean? Think of Bishop Bonnet, and listen, shout out to I see Joe Pell. Think about Bishop Bonnet, a kid that got like 9 degrees from FAMU. You think Bishop Bonnet didn't let those transfers guys know, hey, this is how we do it here?
Absolutely.
That's what I'm talking about,
Hey,
guys.
CJ.
You know, so it's a bigger thing when people you can brain train, but guys that say this is how we do it here. Because you, as coach, he said, you want a self-coach team. You don't want the coach to kind of tell guys. You want the guys to self-police themselves. And Bishop Bonnet was one of those type of guys.
Sure.
That hey, you here, but this is how we do things.
Absolutely.
Well, Mike Tomlin had a mic drop for me when it comes to stuff like this. When he said that some people run from coaching, he runs to it. And he was talking about, you know, you want all these all-pro players and you want all this talent because you can't coach and you can't develop and you're afraid of it. And hey, that's what I'm saying. We got some folks that are afraid. Name somebody who's been developed with this regime, who's gotten better. Name one. There it is. Keith, you can go on with the segment now.
And you know, and we're about to move to the next segment, but that much to Steve's point, and I think the big thing is you got to set the floor. Your floor should be set up by high school and local recruits, or as best as possible. And then you elevate your ceiling with the transfer players. As you mentioned, the players you want, the premium guys, those are the guys you bring in through the portal. But your foundation, it should be high school guys and guys that honestly you recruited out of high school. So yeah.
Thanks.
All right. Well, look, we're not gonna pay nobody this for no music, but we definitely have a segment, and it's called
RJ Johnson's going to send Haley in motion. Now Johnson's going to.
So let's try to push that back again. Look, I was trying to turn the audio off, didn't want to get dinged up. So what you see is what you get. It's an old song. I can't remember the group. Kelvin might remember. I doubt it. He might have been too young for that too. But it was Dramatics, something like that.
Yeah.
So film don't lie. Let's put a couple plays up, you know, and we got good and ugly plays. Mostly good for y'all to kind of look at. But kind of starting off here, right? Let's kind of see if we can get this pass right here. You know, quick little drop in there.
Makes
kind of
sense.
see what happens. Can you explain what happens to the people who kind of are watching? You know, we slow it down for you. Try that, you know, good, bad, whatever. What do you see just right here at the onset of the play?
Well, so we got a guy coming over in motion, and we got the line blocking. So we trying to influence the defense to go opposite of where the play is going to counter. You see that Haley, the running back, is sneaking out, and it's not exactly a wheel route. He's sneaking out for a little quick out against but it's really a counter to the play action, and we're influencing the defense, and we also got them outnumbered on that weak side there. If you look, there's the corner who's locked up with the wide receiver, and then you have a DB who looks like he was kind of influenced and getting ready to go with the guy who's coming in motion, where we faking the handoff to, like we doing a jet sweep to the left or the strong side. And then we're going to sneak Haley back. We get pressure. The end is unblocked. The quarterback has to account for him. RJ accounts for him, sees him, and gets the ball out of his hand quickly and gets the ball to Haley so he can do something with it, score. Smart play.
Very smart. Simple.
But this goes back to what I'm saying. Get the guy in open space, right? What did I say about the running back? Put him in the pass pattern. Mm-hmm. That's where potentially you have this literally is what I was talking about.
Yeah.
So, okay, you can't run the ball up the middle. Let's put them in something where they got to think, who can he make a play with? Because he's not going to run. And that's what you see. As you said, the guy made one step. Well, I guess his right, our left. And that was it. That was it.
He's out of position. Yeah.
Out of position.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think the other thing with this, honestly, RJ has no other read. Like when I was looking at it, I was like, oh man, this play, it's really a halfback counter play, right? But the other thing, when you look right here, look at the receivers. They're blocking. They're not running routes. RJ has no other read. It's either going to him
or that was nobody
else.
Yeah.
And it was a great play call.
Yeah. And he wouldn't have had time probably read anybody. He was gonna get sacked if he didn't get rid of it.
Yeah.
But here's the thing, though. To your point, Keith and Kelvin, here's the thing: that plays are set up for that to happen. That just say, listen, this guy's going to come unblocked.
Yeah.
Here's what should happen if everybody does, as the great words of the say, do your job. If you do your job, this guy should be open.
Yep.
So you see this a lot because you're not going to block. Sometimes you got to give up something to set something up. So this is one of those plays, and this what and credit to RJ, he made the throw. So so that's why I'm not mad at it. But you got to that point, you got to make the throw.
Yep,
absolutely.
I think they tried that play one other time and they dropped it in the end zone in that game.
Let's go to closer to the beginning of the game right here. Kind of putting this on the other side. We talked about kind of the running up the middle, right? And it worked on this play.
Yeah, run at him.
What worked about this when you're looking at it, just as far as some of what you're already pointing at earlier, Kelvin? Where were the receivers positioned at, and how does that really help this play succeed?
Yeah, we outside the hash on this play with our receivers, which give us some space. And then as you run the play and you see the line pull, everybody's engaged. Everybody got a helmet on a helmet.
Yep.
So the only play, unless somebody slides off a block, the only person who was going to be able to make a play is your linebackers. And so the line did a pretty good job of and our offensive line. That's the thing that's so frustrating about it. Our offensive line is not small. Those guys average 6'5", 300 pounds, man. But and they all seniors. That's the other group. I told you that 22 of the seniors out of the 31 was defense. The rest of are offensive linemen and tight end, and of course Thad. Why don't we have consistency out of this group? I just don't get. I don't know it. I don't get it. But on this play, you got helmet on a helmet. We got them spread out. These are the kind of run plays we should have been running. Not anything outside the hash, because Jackson State was going to run that down, or they were going to just keep outside containment and push spreaders out to the sideline. So you had to run at them.
And I think too, two things happened well on this play that didn't work so well other times. It was the vision and him getting through the hole quick once it opened, because it was closing up quick.
Running downhill. Yeah.
He got through that hole quick enough, and he saw it quick enough when it opened up, because that was what I saw a lot all night. I understand, you got to run at him, but the hole was closing up so quick because we're not gonna win that line of scrimmage battle, right? So when it's opening up and you see your gap, you got to take it. And I think that he saw this one perfectly. And now one thing Thad is gonna do, one defender not gonna take him down. He gonna drag one or two so he can get that extra yardage. And I think that's what we were able to get so much on this one. And it didn't work other times because sometimes he stumbles a little bit. You know what I mean? Like he kind of,
he's not explosive.
Yeah, he stumbles a little bit. But this time he saw his gap, he went for it, and he got some good yardage on that one. So,
and we got a face mask on that one.
Yes. And he did. But
he got a face mask.
Yeah.
But this is the thing, and you're going to hear Coach Cole talk about this. Where's the defense at? Where's your advantage? We outnumbered them when we run the play. So that's the thing about it. If you look at how they're lined up, we've got three guys plus the guy coming down here. I'm pointing like I got the telestrator. But the guy responsible that's coming up the hole is the safety. That's his job. So you're already set up for success on that play. And these are things that, again, when you're sitting up there setting up plays, so maybe that was a look that Jackson State saw. Okay, we think they're going to run this way. To your point, two receivers to the short side of the field. We've got the ultimate advantage because we've got 3-on-2 on there. So these are things. Are we setting up these plays now to the point where I said, when you run this play, do you come back and set up for play action? That's the thing about it, the rhythm of calling your plays. We don't have a rhyme and rhythm. You hear Coach saying, we ran the first down every time. Well, if this was first down again, because this is first and 10, right? Mm-hmm. Guess what I'm doing? On first and 10, I'm giving you the same look. And like Tasha said, I'm running play action.
I'm pulling it out. Yeah. I'm running a bootleg, pass option, downfield, something. Yeah.
So
we're going away from our tendencies.
Yeah, because the quarterback, if you watch this play, look at the quarterback and look at the defense.
Yeah.
Nobody's paying attention to him.
Nope. That's what happened when he ran that ball in against Southern. They
Yep.
dropped zero coverage, and he went untouched.
Yeah.
And I think the other thing, I love you when you called it, Steve, the helmet to the helmet. When Kelvin said that, I was like, wait, we had 6 offensive linemen on that play. Like you actually did scheme to say we know this is a deficiency, but much to your point, look at this play and where RJ is. If RJ holds this ball all of a sudden and he runs to the left, that's a whole nother play. And heavens forbid you kind of action out of that and had the receiver kind of fake like he's blocking and run down.
Right.
That's 3 plays out of 1 play.
Yeah.
So I think sometimes we're too smart and sometimes we just too dumb.
Did we run that play where RJ put 28, what's his name? Haley. Where he put him in motion and then he ran the ball. Did we? I don't remember seeing us run that play. Did we try that one?
I can't recall it.
I don't think we did. And it worked. It worked like a charm. Now maybe they figured, that he might try it, but I just saw a lot. We didn't. I just don't understand that.
Put the ball in your playmaker's hand and let them have an opportunity to make explosive plays. It's just
that's all RJ did in high school. Yeah. I'm from where RJ is from. He went to the school that I teach at his rival school. That's all he did in high school. He ran the ball as a quarterback. That's all he did in high school. I just don't understand.
On the other side of the
world. I want to ask you one other question, though, but I want to bring a point where you talked about the senior offensive lineman. But here's the problem with that. If you ask what's the offensive line identity, are we a run blocking team? Mm-hmm. Are we a pass blocking team? We don't have an offensive line identity. See, that's the thing about it. When you start looking at teams, and again, goes back, and this is when you get to talk to these coaches. Eddie Robinson, you know his 3 offensive linemen? They're all swag. They were all walk-ons. But guess what? He'll tell you. Those guys came in run blocking. Those are run blocking out. My guys are run blockers. Kind of probably say that about Jack State. They do it very well at pass block. But, hey, their bread and butter is we're going to put you on your ass and run the ball. Mm-hmm. You see what I'm saying? You look at Central. Central more of a finesse offensive line. Not as big, better pass blockers. So the thing about it is, this is the schizophrenic thing about this team is, again, you got to have an identity with your offensive line. You're either this or you're that. It's very few times in college that you're both. And that's the thing about it. So when you see this, we're not powerful enough, and then we're not finesse enough, again, to hold up on the pass block. And that's where you see that.
And to your point, Steve, you look at the weight room we have, you look at the body makeup of our line. They're long. They're tall. They ain't particularly muscular. They're not particularly big, oversized. They're not particularly athletic. They in the middle. Yeah. And that's the way we look.
Near the bottom of the middle. So looking at on the other side, we can't just show FAMU plays. We talk a lot about defense and kind of what went right, what went wrong. Here's one of the run plays, and we definitely talked about the loss of outside contain, right? When you're looking at this play, what are some of the things y'all are looking at? Because, and just noticing why this play worked against us so well and, what maybe we could have done differently.
Look who's out there, first of all. I think, do we have our best players on the field? And that's all I'm going to say.
I mean, one of your best players isn't available, so we have to be nice about that. But 4
and 5 are.
I think that I think first and foremost, I do notice that stand up end, he's about to get owned, like right there. That tackle, left tackle, that makes no sense. Why is he out there? Like that kid is not set up for success. Number 4, you're setting him up for failure.
Well, he's a linebacker trying to play DN.
Exactly.
Also, football 101. If your end is supposed to have outside containment, then your outside foot needs to be back and your inside foot needs to be forward. And he needs to be outside eye, which he kind of seems to be. He seems like his line, the way he line up in terms of his placement on the tackle is okay, but his foot alignment is bad because his first read step is going to be with his inside foot, and it's going to bring them inside. So if they run a play and they press the line of scrimmage and bounce, he's going to give that tackle an opportunity to reach him and to get to his outside shoulder and block him in. Same with the defense end on the other side. You got the wrong foot back. That's not sound technique, at least from an old school coach back in high school. I wouldn't teach my defensive ends that way if they supposed to have outside containment. Yeah.
So here's the thing, and shout out to Coach Cole. One of the things that you got to look at, and I talked about, I think the guy said the kid 79 is Davis. I want you to watch the right offensive tackle and look how he's already setting to go to the second level. Keep running this and watch the right tackle. This is a Jack State bread and butter play. They run this play all the time. Look, so you see how the guard comes around? Look, he's blocking our safety already. They've already gotten to the second level already, because you see how the guard pulls that takes the end, and then he's going. This is Jack State bread and butter. And again, if you cannot establish the offensive line of scrimmage, and you got guys that are already, and this is just a beautiful, actually, I'm going to say this is a beautifully run play, because you see that guard pulling. I think that's 74. 74 did a great job on that. And this is what I'm talking about. These guys are working in unison. When you look at this play, 74 pulls, 79 goes, gets another guy. And then because we're playing so far back, the wide receiver gets to go 5 yards to go get the guy.
Well, that's my point. The linebacker 27 on that side is unblocked, but he's not making contact till 5 yards down the field.
That's right.
He's not coming up and filling that gap.
But we don't have nobody on the end. You got a linebacker coming up trying to play off the end.
Yeah. Well, he's got a defensive end on that side. On the other side, there's no end.
But he gets taken out by.
But he's on the inside of that. Yeah, he's the problem is he's lined up inside of that tackle.
And it's,
so this is the thing. Like I said, when you watch Jackson State's offense, and the one thing that I give those guys, they don't make it complicated. They don't make it complicated.
Yeah.
They run the same play that they run to extreme efficiency. And the thing about, and I said this, shout out on the breakdown, and I said this: if you hear Jack State 2nd and 3, 2nd and 4, all those things, that's going to be a long night for you. And that's what you kept hearing all night long, because first down, they constantly won first down against us. And when Jack State is winning first down, then guess what? Everything else. And now, again, when you win first down, guess what that does? Your freshman quarterback is never in danger. Never in danger.
So, looking at that play again, Steve, they got 5 offensive linemen up there, and we got 4 down linemen and 2 linebackers. Look like we in a 2 deep cover on this one. They already got the numbers on us without having to do anything.
Yep.
And you notice they run into the weak side, and they did that a lot. And a lot of teams do that to us. Because why? You got that end and that one backer. You got a corner over there who has to be occupied by the receiver. So they outnumber us when you run weak on us with that lineup.
And those are things when you sit back, and Kelvin, to your point, you know that play's coming in the second half. Literally, that's one of the plays that they ran to get to 64 yards. And Davenport ran one, and Armand ran the same play. And I don't know if Keith got it. It's literally the exact same play. But to your point, if I see, okay, guys, they're having success on this, what are we going to do? Do you drop a safety down? Do you put your end on the outside and have your linebacker fill that B gap? It's crazy when you sit back and you start slowing this film down, and then you go back to the third quarter and you say, that's the exact play they scored on. These are the things when you sit back where you're saying, hey, guys, us, and I always say this out of respect. And listen, I don't get paid to coach. I always say this to Coach Cole. I've never coached college football. I have helped coach. I've never coached college football. But if we can see it, that's what bothers me.
Yes.
Yeah.
If we can see it, I'd rather for somebody. I'll give you an example, and I know we're going to get to it. There was a play when Rember ran the little reverse, right? That was a pretty ass play because I didn't know where the ball was. Now you know what? I wouldn't see how to defend that.
But there was number 6 sitting right there unblocked, and he didn't know where the doggone ball was either. He watched him run right past him.
And this is the thing about coaching. They're looking at our tendency, and they say, you know what? This is going to work. We're going to run this. And this, man, again, is not a disrespect to ask the question of to be better. And I think that's what we have in this space is, people just come and say, you ain't this, you ain't that. Nobody's calling your name. But we're questioning, to your point, are you putting your players in the best position to succeed? And when they're not succeeding, what is the adjustment? Because you know if it worked once, they're going to try it twice.
Precisely.
So I just had to point that out because, it's just crazy.
Yeah.
Last one so we can get to the good, the bad, and ugly in our school grades because normally we don't, but look, good conversation, man. And, I think some of this is cathartic. So last play right here, definitely not in our favor, but let me see. This is the one I wanted. Nope. That's not the one I wanted. Make sure.
Another play where we running at them, though. That was the only way we was going to have success.
That was that.
Yeah, that was that. Did I forget to put it in there? I might have left it off there. Let me see.
But what's crazy, and I'll say this as you get into the next slide, and you're looking at that score, 24-9, and you think about what could have been, Kelvin, to your point, we really should have been 3-3 going into the half. Mm-hmm. Where you sit back and you make adjustments. Okay, guys, we've seen what they're going to run. It looks like they're not going to throw it 30, 40 times a game. Quarterback can make throws, but again, we know who their guy is. I mean, and again, Paul is great, and Dupree is great, but you got to live or die by something.
Yeah,
they remember got his scholarship to Jackson State off of us. Okay, I'm not letting that guy get a master's degree off of us. All right, not happening. So Dupree, Savage, them guys, they got to do it.
They got to make plays.
Here from Florida is not going to do it.
You follow him wherever we go. That's the one. That's the one I'm talking about.
I knew I had it ready.
So I'm like, what was that guy looking at?
So already,
look where he at. Look, he's in position, but he gonna squat. He gonna sit down on a route. Rimba didn't even make a good move, to be honest. He didn't act like he was gonna run a curl. He kept running. He ran right past him.
He ran through the zone. Literally, he just ran through the zone.
Just terrible technique. Where was he going? He got deep responsibility. There was nobody in the middle of the field for him to come up.
There's
no receiver in the middle of the field. Why would he care?
Kelvin, this is to me, this is what you say film study, right?
Yes.
This is something that they've seen 17 do. And they say, you know what?
Yep, you're right.
We're going to run this curl and up route, right? Yep. And of course, he dipped in and turned them totally way around.
Yeah.
And this is what's so crazy. This is why I'm playing the game when everybody was screaming, speed in the slot, speed in the slot.
Right.
So again, to your point, you want to keep everybody in front of you.
Yeah.
Stop playing.
You just stay back. Yeah, you just stay back. Yeah.
You good to check.
Stop playing it. I'm Steven. Every time you go, stop playing it.
I think the crazy part was just and honestly, some of it is a response to us saying, all right, we're good on seeing all the man-to-man coverage, but then you show that kind of zone defense and you're like, well, maybe that's why you're running so much man-to-man. Can you not run zone? I mean, I just watched that play and I was like, what the heck was going on there?
The one where he dropped it.
They dropped that. Is that the same route? Did they drop that same route earlier in the game?
When RJ threw the deep ball to 7.
Oh,
he dropped it.
And true content, but see, and this kind of goes, as they say, all 11 men working together. Mm-hmm. When you don't have a pass rush and the kid is comfortable, he knows what his read is. Mm-hmm. He feels confident because he's practiced this. And I'm going to say this too, man. And listen, and then my check say, Lockhart, that kid going to be special. And that kid's going to be the next Shannon Board. But he's not going to be Superman Kent. He's not going to be throwing here Casey Terrell throwing 440. But that kid is going to be so consistent for 4 years. He is going to win so many games at Jackson State. And I'm telling FAMU folks right now, that kid right there is not going to lose games because he's not going to make mistakes to lose. See, that's the difference. He's not going to make mistakes, but he's going to make plays to win games. The thing what we're asking RJ to do is throw the ball past 5 yards to try to win the game. That's the thing about it. You can't average 4.6 yards of reception. That's not going to work in no shape, form, or fashion.
Let's get to our next segment so we can, because y'all, we normally run it. We run a little long, so we're gonna make it move fast. Let's get to the good, the bad, and the ugly. So going into this game, you got those three things. We'll start with the ugly part first, so that way we can have something to glow about, right? What was ugly about this game for you?
The ugly for me is, and I'll just jump in. The ugly is, this is the third game at Bragg. We've lost and we've given up 40+ points. That's the ugly. Bragg is just a stadium right now with this team. We're not even competitive against the top programs, HBCUs. And that is something FAMU has never seen. We've lost in Bragg 3 times, but we've never gave up 40 points and lost in Bragg in the same season.
Ever.
Unacceptable. So that's the ugly for me.
The ugly for me, I think we had 73 yards of offense, something like that. That's the ugly for me. I think at the half we had 62 yards of offense, maybe, or something insane like that. That's unacceptable. Unacceptable.
Well, the ugly for me was being from Jackson, Mississippi, and having a bunch of people in the stands saying, Campbell, Steve, Mr. Campbell, look at the score. We whooped y'all behinds. See you in Jackson next year. That was the ugly for me. Because when you got so many people that know you, that literally are coming down, taking pictures of you and the scoreboard, that's not a good feeling. And for me, I always told people this family should have always been in the SWAC.
Yeah.
That game, the energy, the sonic boom in the South, the Jack State fans, the FAMU fans, it was all put together for it to be a great game. And to look up, and like Kelvin said, and I've been around a long time. I remember when Jack State played FAMU in the playoffs in 78. So I understand what these two schools mean. And to look up there, and Kelvin, to look and have a school that clearly wants to whoop our behind and do it, say they're going to do it, and the fans say it and say, see you later. That's the bad for me. That's the bad for me. Because my phone still ain't stopped ringing. Matter of fact, my phone is ringing now because people are watching this for Jackson laughing.
Hey, and the coach even said it. I was watching the replay, and I didn't realize Coach told him nobody on their defense scares us.
Nobody. TC said nobody. The lady asked, and TC said nobody.
Oh man, that's
embarrassing.
That is.
Yeah.
I think the ugly. I'm gonna lean in with Tashay. The stats. We gave up almost 400 yards rushing. Mm-hmm. Like, there's a point where I said this wasn't about pride. Running is a pride stat to me. You don't let a mofo run in your house for almost 400 yards. Their starting halfback was approaching 100 yards going into the first quarter. Yep. We gave up almost 500 yards in total offense. Like 400. If they had 4 more yards, we talking 500 yards in offense. They doubled up your statistics. Like, for me, that to me was the ugly part, because that really led to you getting your butt whooped because you had less penalties than they did, but you just couldn't put it together. So wasn't there for me to put that thing on personal preference like that. Sorry. That shows you how upset I am about that foolishness right there. Like, it literally grinds my gears that we lost the game like that. Like, let me get Uncle Steve back here on the stage. But that thing bothers me. I didn't get to go to the game. I stayed home. I was working on some stuff. But as a fan and as a person who claims they love FAMU and has been sitting there, I can't remember the last time we gave up almost 500 yards in offense. Like, honestly, this whooping reminds me of them A&T whoopings when they had your boy back there playing running back. Like, that was just terrible. And First half, you were competitive.
Mo Hicks,
all of them boys. Heck, like just woe us out. And honestly, if TC wanted to, and I was watching you and Scotty do the live show, and TC kind of just played with FAMU. If you think about it, that first half, if he wanted to, he could have blown us out. I think he was trying to figure out what made his quarterback comfortable, and once he did, he opened it up and released the Hounds in the second half. But if he would have figured it out in the first quarter, they would have dropped 70 on us. That's ugly.
I'm with you on that. I haven't seen stats like that until you see like you remember University of Oklahoma, Nebraska. You will see, and they put up 400-500 yards of offense on a no-name school. This is FAMU. That's the thing about it. And Keith, you just hit it. It's about a pride thing. You know what I mean? You like to say shout out, like I say, Jackson State's got outstanding run attack, but it comes to a point where then you got to hit somebody. You got to understand that, you know what, you're going to earn those yards. You're not earning yards when guys are going 60 yards, 20 yards, 30 yards, 17 yards on a 3rd and 16 that you need, which was a big play in the game at that time where it still was in the balance, and you get off the field, maybe we can get something going. And the guy runs the same play that you showed on film to get 17 yards. That was deflating. That was deflating. And that was, to me, to your point, when that 3rd and 17 happened on a simple run play, it wasn't nothing special. And he got one more yard than they needed. That was just wild.
Well, you would have thought, we would have, since we knew they would wanted to run the ball and not put the quarterback in harm's way, you would have thought we would have walked the safety up.
We ain't did that all season. We ain't did it all season.
I would have rather Lockhart have 400 yards passing than 400 yards run. Because you know what? I would have tipped my
knew
hand.
That's what they was going to do.
And that was the thing that, and I was listening to, PV versus Eric Shaw, and Coach Nolan said, well, and I don't know if he was talking about, they were talking about their game when Andrew Body went out. And people saying they should have blitzed him, right? And he said, well, maybe you don't want to do it because you want to give him a look. Well, the problem was, if that was the case, we didn't put 8 people in the – well, first they didn't have the basketball.
Right.
So we didn't have 8. So the only time that worked when you put 8 people back there, now he doesn't know where to throw it in, and finally the rush finally gets him, right? So my thing is like this, and I said this, speed him up.
Yeah.
Let's put him on his behind.
Yeah.
Let's hit him.
Let's the hell out of him.
Football is. And you know what? If he gets remembered 8 times, then so be it. But if we speed him up, maybe overthrows him because it's not a perfect throw. Maybe overthrows Savage because it's not a perfect throw. But then guess what? Now all of a sudden, like I said, it is different when Jackson State is behind the chains when it's 2nd and 8, 2nd and 11, compared to being 2nd and 3. That's the thing.
All right, let's get to the bad. What does, we talked about the ugly. What was bad? Bad ain't quite as ugly, but it still ain't good. What was bad about this game for you?
The bad is we lost 3 games at home. This was the 3rd game we lost at home out of 5. And we barely won against a D2 on one of the wins. The bad for me, we didn't protect Bragg. We weren't even competitive in protecting Bragg. That's the bad.
I don't even know where to start with any of the bad or the ugly. I don't know. Y'all
1 for 11. That's bad. 1 and 11 on 3rd down. That's the other bad.
Take your pick. Take your pick. Take your pick. Just take your pick.
For me, the bad is clearly the disconnected with Coach Burris and Coach Colsey. And Keith, you weren't there, but you recorded. You had Gerald recorded. And I asked him this. I said, Coach, this was the best half of football defensively, and then the worst half offensively. What is it why we're not being aggressive and throwing the ball downfield? And he said, I don't know. That's bad to me. Because you're the head coach. You help put the game plan in. You got to know. I would rather for him to say, if Coach Colsey would say this, and I'm going to say this again, Coach Colsey is a nice guy. I respect. So this had nothing to do. But I'd rather for you to say to the casual person like me, you know what? We were going to throw the ball 3 yards and our guys were going to go 70. Say that. That's our game plan. We were throwing it quick because we thought the pass rush was going to get to us and we were going to throw it quick. That's not what he said. That's my thing, because at least I'm going to know why I did. And if I fail, at least I can tell you why I failed. You know what? We thought we could go quick against FAMU. Against Jack State, we thought we couldn't go deep. We went quick. That's the reason why RJ had the 3 yards of cloud dust passes. But you didn't hear that. And that's the bad to me.
This is second OC in 2 years. And he got rid of the last one for the same thing. So what I'm starting to realize,
The common denominator.
I'm not looking at the OC no more.
Yep. I just told Ash.
Not
Oh
at all.
my goodness.
I think the bad for me is just the overall weekend. Like volleyball took an L, women's basketball B2A, men's basketball. Please give me some hope. But I know we are slightly overmatched, but it's just the weekend and the culmination of the season. Like you said, three out of 5 games in Bragg you lost, 2 of which you got the fool beat out of you, and then not only that, you gave up points. Like, we don't have the least amount of points averaging. You were averaging giving up about 30 plus points per game at home. Like, I get, Bragg ain't the Bragg we grew up with. It ain't the 25,000 when we were, when I was a kid. And, homecoming, you got 40,000 people in there because somebody done snuck and took every ticket they can get. We ain't got that no more. But you still had something where you came into that stadium where it was like, we're going to give you a fight. Honestly, let's be honest. We look like a homecoming opponent right now. And I think it's that mystique. You lost that. You don't schedule FAMU for homecoming. Right now, with the way it's looking, you gonna be you the next homecoming for everybody next year. And that's embarrassing.
Go ahead. I was gonna say I think my bad is the best way I could put it is that we are here week after week on all of our different respective shows, and we complaining about the same stuff every week. That's what's bad for me, is there has not been something for us different. At least fix something. We have literally been on here lamenting about the exact same things over and over again every week. And then in press conferences and pressers and whatever, we're hearing the same responses. We're hearing, I don't know. This is what you get paid to know. You get paid to know. And it's the same thing every week. That's the best thing I can say. Is the bad is that we are literally complaining about the same thing. Everybody's seeing the same thing. Announcers are saying the same thing. Commentators are saying, everybody is saying the same thing every week. It's bad. If we see it, it's got to be seen by everybody.
Yeah,
that's the best way I can put it.
Yeah.
Hey, can I add one last thing about the bad?
Absolutely.
You know what also is bad? And I'm going to take the Bethune-Cookman because that's a rivalry game, quote unquote, the records don't count. But we got 3 teams, Valley, Arkansas Pine Bluff, and Alabama A&M, who have tailed off, who really expect to beat us. Think about that. And I'm telling you, I'm listening to these coaches and again talking to these coaches where they're looking at this. We might be able to get a victory here. That's bad.
Yeah.
When we've had the coaches, you look at those. We just count W.
Yeah,
okay,
absolutely.
We play Jack State.
Take it for granted.
Bethune-Cookman, it's the classic. Southern's kind of good, and then we had that outside. That was automatic. You just dropped the W.
Yeah.
I'm sitting up here wondering,
can we beat
what's going to
UAB
happen
next week? Yeah.
Go back and watch that call. Go back and watch the coach's call today. Watch the coach's call today and watch that weird moment. Because I just happened to jump on. I didn't get on the call. At the end of the Bethune-Cookman call, who's up there? They're split screen. One coach, he kind of like this talking and mumbling. And the other one looking over here kind of looking like, man, I don't know what I got. I'm telling you, that thing, you're not wrong. I would looked at that this morning and that SWAT coach's call. Watch when Woody's up there talking and you get the dual screen with Cozy coming up there. Okay, it ain't comfortable. I'll say that much.
Ain't nothing comfortable. Ain't nothing for certain. Ain't nothing for certain. To your point, Mr. Campbell, that was definitely a dub. That was game. I hate to say it. We ain't going to Pine Bluff. That's a dub. We're not going to Itabena. That's a dub.
Right.
Now I'm calling Ashley. I'm like, Ashley, we going to intermediate, like, because we might need to be the 12th man. Like, seriously.
Ain't nobody gonna be there.
I was about to say, and it's gonna be cold.
Listen.
Thanksgiving. Ooh.
Ain't nobody gonna be there but the mosquitoes,
bro.
And they ain't gonna be there because it's gonna be cold. Don't do it to yourself. I'm telling you, I had to take a bath. I took a bath. I went to sleep and I put it off on, so I could go to sleep. I ain't joking. I'm being serious. The mosquitoes don't
people don't want to be there during that weekend, so you know how we ain't gonna. Okay, Keith, I know you got the next slide. I'm gonna be quick.
So, what was good about the game? What y'all had that was good about this game? It's hard to take away a lot of anything that was good for a lot, but for anything that you saw from the game, the entire experience, what was good about it?
I got something good. I got that.
Start it off.
Go ahead.
I saw a lot of our penalties were low, and I saw that, because Jackson, they come in with that energy. And they were jeering at our guys, especially some of our guys, our knuckleheads. You know what I mean? I ain't gonna call no names, but I was really proud of the way that I saw a lot of this the whole game. A lot of this, like, refs, y'all see it ain't me. And so I think that there was a lot of control. They stayed in their body. You know what I mean? We didn't get a lot of the stupid penalties. That was my good.
The 100 was good.
Look, he took mine. I was about to say that. That halftime show was fire.
Yeah, the 100 was real. The 100 was damn good. That's my good.
Well, I'm gonna jump on that. I was proud of the Marching 100 because they caught a lot of slander in these swag streets, and me again being from I'm a swag bay. I know what this thing looked like, and I knew. Listen. Here's a little backstory. I knew the boom was coming before the beginning of the season because one of the things that I had told people, FAMU's getting so disrespected. We have got to go two places. We got to go to Jackson. We got to go to Southern. But the reciprocation, and shout out to Ashley Robinson, who had a conversation with our AD. We're going to make sure the boom. So I knew the boom was coming. And I talked to the kids. We talked to the kids in the van. This is what they want. They don't want to be playing by themselves. This is what they live for. These kids have all grown together. They gone to band camps. And I'm going to get a March 1. They came to battle. Yeah. And when I saw them do, the JSU rock and everything like that, I was like, this is what I'm talking about, March 100.
Yes.
Now we got to get that stuff in the stands worked out. But shout out to Sonic Boom. They knew, listen, Sonic Boom was like, we're going to Sonic Boom. We ain't been here 30 years. We're going to give y'all a show. So to me, that's what HBCU football is.
Yes, about. No doubt about it.
The good was the Marching 100 and the Sonic Boom,
and
both knowing that, you know what, we going to have our own heavyweight fight. And it was a heavyweight fight. Now, whoever say I ain't getting in all that because everybody whatever. But both of the bands.
They were fire.
They were fire. Shout out to Ashley Robinson for bringing the boom down because you know what? That made the atmosphere. If you got, that atmosphere was electric. If Club Bragg was really close, when we were playing a real game, that could have been one of the all-time greatest games in Bragg. Because the boom was going, the 100 was going, the fans, the light. Shout out for the light show, Club Bragg light show. Shout out for the band with the lights on the, on their helmets and stuff like that. So I'm gonna say that was the good. That was the great. That was the great for me.
Yeah. And the bull and let me say this for my band. The 100 travels west. We done been to Southern 2-3 times. Southern ain't came here. Y'all, when Jackson State came to Bragg in 2018, I was there. The boom wasn't there. So I don't want to hear all that mess y'all talking. Y'all get up off my band, okay? We travel. We ain't go to Jackson last year, but we traveled. We've been to Southern twice. Please, okay?
Well, and I'm saying we will be in Jackson next year. I will tell you that. I'll tell you what I know. Going forward, because we play Jackson Southern every other year. So I'm telling, and I will say this, which I don't know why. The money was allocated for us to go to Southern. So I don't know what happened with that because that money was put in the budget, just like I know the money will be put in the budget. So for the Marching 100, they need to go and show because these kids, that's what these kids, all these bands live for this. You know what I'm saying? They want to compete again. They are competing, and that's what they don't want to be playing in an empty stadium against somebody else. That's not what those bands are.
Anytime Jackson State and Southern play FAMU, any of those rival games, the band has to be a part of it.
It has to.
Period.
Yeah. It's if you've never been to AW Mumford, when the 100 is there, and
It's a time.
it's a different game,
And
it's better.
And let me say something for these diehard band heads who talk about who come to brag and who ain't came to brag. Look, when our band travel, our band is traveling to support our football team and hype our crowd. So I don't give a damn
Say that.
who come to brag. When my Rattlers go to Baton Rouge and my Rattlers go to Jacktown, I need 100 with me.
Yeah.
Period.
Yeah.
Because I need to be able to say dun 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 da 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 da, because we're gonna score in Mumford.
We don't need a visiting band. Now I agree. Now I say that I do. I love that, you know, Jackson and Alabama State when they come to brag. Don't get me wrong. I want them to come, but I don't care if they come. But I do care that we go and support our team.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely.
Yep. And there's only one band, if you think, that pretty much comes every time we play them. And to be honest, probably South Carolina State. And I'm not going to lie to you. I look forward to the next time we play South Carolina State because I have a special place in my heart for their band director, who is a Florida A&M University graduate and a graduate of the great Jones High School here in Orlando, Florida. So, you know, shout out to Jamal Nicholas, their new band director. All right, y'all. We hit all the goods. All right, so school grades. Look, y'all got teachers up here. So we not grading on the curve today. So didn't see Bryan's grades today. So but I'm pretty sure he's giving some F's and some D's. I don't see no A's, no B's from nobody. So let's start off. We'll let coaching finish first. We'll start off with the offense so I can make sure I stay organized. Offensively, what grade are you giving this football team for this game?
I think we unanimous on this one.
Can I say academic suspension?
Yeah, academic probation.
Didn't give my eye the other week.
Bro, you might have to sit down some semester, come back, get your mind right. that GPA, bro. And we listen. Passing is below a C. Running was below a C. Receiving, listen, bro. That GPA.
No, it's a F. I don't know who said D. Mine is. It's a F. I mean, 202 yards total offense. 1 of 11 on third down. No, it's a F.
I'm gonna give him an I.
I can't
don't give them nothing.
They got a chance to come back and turn in some work. They need to. The test is already over. That's the problem.
Yeah, the game. It's over.
The class has already been failed.
I'm one of them teachers who always give chances. So that's
I would tell you this, and I know y'all are great teachers, but last time I checked, Jackson State is not coming back to replay that game.
And you're not getting back in no SWAC championship race. So right now it's an F. I'm giving an F.
Somebody went back to the elementary school, or you.
Unsatisfactory.
Wow,
that's better. I feel better. Let's do it. You.
Okay. Defense. Let's slide over to the defensive side of the football. What are we giving the defense on this game?
Can we divide it into halves and then combine it?
If you're gonna do that, they might get a D.
They're gonna get a D. That's what they're gonna give me. They're gonna get a D plus for me. Because the first half they were solid. The second half they were typical.
Yeah. I'm gonna give them a D.
Listen, I told Coach Coles in the press conference that was the best half of defense they played in 2 years. 2 years. But I tell you one thing, there was no D, so it was fence because there was no D in the second half. I can't give them a D because there was no D. I'm sorry. There was none. And again, to Keith's point and Tasha's point, bro, they literally had a whole game against us in a half. What was 31-13 in the second half was the score?
Yes.
So you think about if that would have just been the regular score, that would have been bad. Yeah. This was a second half. And when you talking about the thing about, and I'm gonna say this too, you gotta understand the mixed emotions. I turn around and they're up 24-9 or something, 24-3. It was the third quarter. People were leaving. I had never seen that before in my life.
Me either. Mm-hmm.
It was not the fourth quarter. The third quarter. People.
I had somebody look at halftime.
The boom was saying, "Go home in the third quarter." Go what? I'm talking about what the boom talking about, and I see people walking out. I'm like, "Cool, man. Oh man, no. Man, that I ain't never seen that, man. You just, and that's the thing about it. And you're talking about people that came to this game to support their team. It was kind of cool night, but excited because again, people were excited to see Jack State. They knew the band was coming, and to look in your family. And we all know this is a passionate fan base that knows football.
Yeah,
that is. And like I say, Kelvin, because you probably go, you guys go to more because I'm not down in Florida.
Right.
But have you ever seen that in the third quarter?
Probably not since the Division I failed thing when we played some of them games. Like that's the last time I really remember that being something that was a thing. But
no, that's not typical for FAMUans.
Yeah.
We with our team through the thick and thin.
Through the thick and thin, because even against Alabama State, we stayed through the, and maybe Kelvin, to your point. I don't believe they did that at Central because I'm watching the game on TV. I was at the Alabama State game. Most people kind of stayed. But this was when you got to the point where, like, okay, when we done see this for the third time now, we ain't about to wow. That's unbelievable.
Yeah.
So I just had to point that out. Because those are the people that you're going to need to support your team. Because the thing about it, you're going to ask them for money. That's the thing about it. For fundraising. And they're leaving. And those are people that actually give the money to FAMU.
Mm-hmm.
We're gonna come back to that question before we finish. Special teams. What y'all gave special teams?
Man, y'all didn't even they didn't even really give my boy a chance to get off this time because we couldn't get past the 50. So I don't. Oh, well, there's that fumble over. I get.
That's the reason they get. That's why it is a C because of the fumble. Yeah. But we made a field goal, we made extra points, and as dangerous as Jackson State was with their return team, we did good on coverage. We did really decent coverage this game. Yeah. So I got to give them a C.
Yeah, C. I'll give them a C.
And that's what I was going to say. We didn't see Travis Terrell bump his head against the goalpost that a lot of people look. I want to be honest with you, to me, and I'm like you, but I'm going to give them just the fact that we knew what was coming and they were not starting on our 50-yard line consistently.
Right.
Yeah.
On the defensive side of coverage, the defensive coverage was very solid. So I want to give them respect for that and everything. Yeah. But on the offensive, we just never. You were looking for a big play from our punt return, and you never saw that. You never got. And then, of course, and Tasha pointed out that you just can't have that fumble right then and there. That changed the game. Like the whole game, everybody was like, with the game.
It took the wind out of the stadium.
Yeah.
It took the air out of the stadium, literally.
Yep.
So I'm gonna go rogue here. I'm gonna give him a B because we forgot our punter. He had some great ones. He had some. But that coffin corner kick he had was amazing. You did get the field goal. You held the kick returner in check. I was in between. I was leaning towards C+, but I was like, if I'm gonna give you a C+, and I'm gonna give you those bonuses, I'm gonna give you that B for the day. It's really a B-, but I think because special teams, besides that one play, was actually surprisingly the best part of the game when you start breaking it down. So.
But then there was that botch kick that he kicked it to like the 40. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? That's why I got to bring it to a C. Yeah. And I'll say this. It was a re-kick because he kicked it the first time. It was 2 penalties. They offset, so they made him re-kick, remember? And then the next kick was like, it was real bad. He kicked it maybe 30, 40 yards. And they started. It was just, I was like, man. It was a rough night. It's hard. It's hard being a Rattler fan right about now. It's hard.
Look, because the USF basketball game's delayed, so that may be a good thing. The
women played first. Their women, so it was doubleheader down there. That's why it's delayed.
Okay. Never mind. Shut up, Keith.
Yeah, I don't even want to know the grade. I don't even want to know.
You don't know. No, you don't want to know the.
Yeah, I don't want to know.
No, you want to know.
I had enough.
I gave up.
It may be the worst score I ever seen.
Oh, come on.
Oh, it's bad.
Oh my
I'm
God.
talking.
We're gonna say it a nice
I'm talking
way.
about triple digits.
I've had
They got
enough
hazed.
heartache. Please.
They got
Please.
hazed. Them girls got hazed tonight.
Please,
Like,
baby.
and we understand FAMU is a whole haze in itself. Them girls got hazed. They ain't get beat. That was hazing. 188 do not haze. Somebody please call that for our women's basketball team. Anyways, but coaching, what grade did y'all give our coaching staff as a whole in this game?
You know that grade.
F.
Mr. Campbell's
F.
F.
F. Fuck.
F.
F. Fuck.
Now,
I
I
gotta
say
give
that
it-
one out loud. Ain't
That's
no
right.
I.
I got to get a phonetic F. Fuck.
Yeah.
Man, you know the crazy thing, and I'm gonna say this to all the coaches, and this goes, and I'm gonna say this because I know them a lot watch the coaches corner. We do not, as fans, don't want to hear it's on you. We know that. I don't want to hear that no more. We know it's on you. Do better.
Yeah.
And that's the thing about it is, and Kelvin, you hear and you know it was a bad omen. We were all down there in Miami. And I think we all did the show together. Remember, we were picking how many games we were going to win.
Right.
And I told somebody, and I can reveal that now. I said, listen, you know what? I came on the show. I had to be a homer. I knew what we were going to do because I knew the team. But it was so funny. I saw somebody, and they said, Mr. Campbell, you still think you're going to win all them games? I said, ain't no way. Because that first game was a bad omen.
Yeah. It
So
was.
what we saw last year, and Kelvin, to your point, nothing has changed. And if you take out those two outliers, I'm gonna take that Albany State game because no matter what, we should always beat them no matter what.
Right.
But Alcorn and some those are outliers.
Yeah.
That because those we could easily lost those games.
Let's be honest. Albany State, don't take that out. If they get that onside kick, we probably lose that game.
So I'm trying to be. Thank you. So there you go. I want somebody else to say it, not me. We literally could not have a win for this season. And just to think about that, and we're not rebuilding, coming from the crowd. We were a championship team where people want to. Again, there are people that are coaching in the SWAC that wanted this job.
One of them is at Prairie View right now, and he
I
was working an hour and a half from Tallahassee.
Okay.
He applied for the job.
That's what I'm saying. So that lets you know how coming off a championship team that people in the business saw what FAMU is. That's the thing about it. So again, all we hope, because I think all of us, and again, we know Coach Cozy, we've seen Coach Cozy. What we do, we're here to support you. Tasha is raising money. Yeah, O&G StrikeZone does a great job.
Yeah.
Keith is doing things. Everybody knows what I'm doing, raising money, trying to do this and talk to everybody else and keep people off your ass in the social media.
For sure.
You know, and stuff. So don't say we're not supporting you, because I hate people that talk about people that don't put their money where their mouth is. I'm a big thing, because I have the biggest problem with people on social media, and they ain't getting fair of it out there any of their schools. And then they want to talk about someone else's school when I know for a fact you ain't gave that school money, because I call and ask. They say I don't know who that person is. So that's my thing. So we're here to support you, but this is Florida A&M University.
That's right.
And you see, Rattlers expect winning, period. So don't sit back there and like, why are we having this show? We having this show because Rattlers expect winning, period.
We expect
what we do.
excellence, and we give a damn.
Come with the
honestly, that's what it says on this state, on the little seal. It says FAMU excellence, and we give a damn. Excellence with caring. If you're not winning, we still care. And let's call a spade a spade. When it's getting a little shaky up there, football is the breadwinner.
Yep.
You need 1,000 season ticket holders. I don't care. You can cut it however you want. 1,000 season ticket holders is very little more than $1 million if you kind of cut it, splice it. But you need that. And $1 million can do some things. But can you find 1,000 people that are going to buy season tickets for a product that they think is going to be losing? I can't. And I want our coaches to succeed, but something's got to change. It can't be regression. And all we have seen in the last 2 years is regression.
The standard is the standard.
Yes.
Yeah.
We half as many wins as last year? Less than.
So far.
Less than half.
Yeah. To tag on to what you said, I want to make that very clear, because I'm in Ashley and I are always in this weird position because of what we do. and it makes it hard. But let's be clear. I don't think there's one person on this panel that does not want every coach in that field house to succeed.
Yeah.
Let's be clear.
Absolutely.
Your success is our success. We talk big.
Yes.
Okay. So when you win, we look good because we talk big.
Yes.
So ain't nobody on this panel that don't want y'all to succeed. Be clear. We want y'all to succeed. Let's be very clear. Okay. But sometimes you just got to call out the reality.
It is what it is. Well said.
You cannot average losing 4 games less every year. From season 1, that was more than 4 games. 12 games from the championship, 7 games last year. This year, we're sitting at 3 wins, and you're on pace to maybe win 4. That's another loss of 4 games. If you lose another 4 games the following year, you're talking about a 2-win season. 1 win right now, honestly 0, because you only got – so what? Something has to change, and numbers matter, statistics matter, data matters, and you're in a data-driven business. You have a president who says she's a data-driven person, and at a certain point, the data is going to tell her that the dollars aren't making sense, and the dollars got to make sense because her detractors are out there, and the detractors for the people she's bringing in are going to be out there too. You got to get them people off her back too.
Well, I'm going to say just one last thing. I know we're getting ready to wrap it up. But the one thing about it is it's the pride of the university. The band and the football team is what FAMU is known for. The academics is always going to be there. But when you represent the university and we're playing, and Kelvin said it best, and we can't remember the last time we had 3 40-point blowouts. And the problem with those 3 40-point blowouts, those are schools that we should be always on par with.
Yeah.
Always. It should never be, because
you're
not
talking
about exactly. You're talking about, again, Jack State championship pedigree, Hall of Famers, FAMU championship. Alabama State, give them credit as they're building themselves, trying to get there. You know what I'm saying? Central has won a championship. So when you're looking at these teams, you're not saying no team should ever be 40 points better than us.
Better than us. Fact.
Better than us. And for those 3 teams to come in here and not only came in here with confidence, not that they were going to beat us, that they were going to beat us like they beat us.
F.A. Bragg is what those kids said. I was standing as the NCCU boys walked on the field and said, F.A. Bragg. I was on the field when them boys said, this is our house. Walk past our players and y'all see how close they are in earshot. And not only said F.A. Bragg, but meant it.
Yeah, that's just crazy. That's just crazy. So, again, these are things that you said we're hearing that's just unacceptable. That's just unacceptable. So, I just wanted to put that out there because, again, when you're talking about a blue blood program and you go and see, that's where it always tickles me. And I'm going to say this because I'm calling the Central people out. They don't have that long history. So they ain't going to talk about, we go way back.
Yeah.
So they're seeing greatness.
Exactly.
Generations are seeing greatness. So this greatness ain't new to us. So we go 70 years of greatness all the way now that we won championships literally in every decade. National championships, whether they were voted on or won on the field.
Right.
So it's not like, well, why are you guys acting like this? Because my grandma acting like that. My great-grand people that are legacy family. It's the same thing with Jack State people. And Jack State people weren't going to accept that because they know what it looks like.
Yep.
And shout out to, Ashley Robinson brought Dion in to write the code. And TC Tech, who knows what it looks like to stand and stand. And Bishop Bondar, his first year, he was like, hey, bro, the standard over here. But guess what? National championship. So the same thing with Cozy. Hey, bro, we're talking national championships over here.
Facts.
The standard is the freaking standard. Man, whew. Look, I think we all kind of needed this. But so as we kind of get up out of here, right? Let's make sure everybody kind of tells you where to follow them, where to watch them. Again, FAMU, as much as we talk about, whatever else and how different we brag, FAMU is not only different because we brag different, because we action different. So if you don't pay attention, almost every night of the week, you can get some content from FAMU people who either went to FAMU, from Tallahassee, or that know FAMU. And so I think every FAMU show that is a major FAMU show has a FAMU alumni on it, and they have worked or been around either athletics or somewhere on campus. So, follow all of us. But, we're going to start off with Steve. Tell them where they can find your shows.
Hey, man,
tell them where they can support you, everything.
Hey, man, so Tuesday nights, HBCU Coaches Corner. We might have somebody FAMU affiliated. I'm still working on that. You'll be able to see it on all social media, on the Rocky Mill channel, Off Script channel. And I'm going to say I am going to show up for the breakdown on Wednesday with Mike, because because that's everybody knows what that joke is about. We got something good for Wednesday. And last thing before I go, man, and I'm going to keep saying this, shout out to my Jackson State folks, because that was class personified. And I keep telling people, the people on social media don't represent Jackson State. The people that were in those stands that drove down to Tallahassee, some of them went to Vegas and still came down. And that's what I'm all about, man. I'm all about the greatness of our schools. So shout out to FAMU people, because they were great. The trash talker was respectable. It wasn't no fooling. Shout out DJ Mr. Key. He had his flag talking trash and all those guys and stuff like that. But shout out to my Jackson State folks. Appreciate y'all coming to Tallahassee. And, we'll see y'all next year.
Come on, Tashay.
All right. Thursday nights, you can find me and my girl Ash. She's under the weather tonight. She was supposed to be here talking mess with me, but she was under the weather. My girl got bronchitis. Y'all pray for my girl. She got a little bronchitis. But Thursday nights at 9:00 after Keith FangsUp, you'll find Fang Exchange. We talking sports. We talking NIL. We talking all the new things that come up about with NIL, because that's changing every week, every day, it seems like. You can find us on every platform: Twitter, X, formerly known as Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, at Fang Exchange. And of course, my name is Tashay. You can find me on all platforms that way personally. But follow Fang Exchange, become a member, join a tier. Give to the NIL Collective, which supports not only football, but all athletics. Right now, we are focused on nutrition. So please join. You can email us, info@FangExchange. You can go to the website, www.fangexchange.com, where you will see the athletes that we support. I think I got everything. But yeah, at Fang Exchange.
Hey, can I say one other thing real quick? Man, shout out to Bryan, man, for doing the play-by-play. Shout out to that brother, man. I mean, for real. Because I catch it, because sometimes either I'm in the press box and I can hear him, or I'll just cut it on just here. And, man, hey, man, Bryan, brother, representing FAMU. I know you're working, trying to get your catchphrase. It's going to come. But, man, I'm proud of you, brother, man. I just want to say that, man. Great job. Great job on the broadcast.
Absolutely. And, appreciate Bryan. Let me fill in for him today. I think he was coaching today. So, Bryan is like multifaceted, and Bryan had to drive this time. Normally, most games I'll drive, Bryan gets to ride and catch a little nap. So Bryan was doing double duty this time. So he had to drive, then work the game. So me, Keith Hadley, FangsUp podcast. You can catch me, HBCU Digital Network, also the FangsUp page. I also run the fifth quarter page. So interaction there, have fun there. Y'all definitely know, look, Fang Exchange, they got the liquor. They got a 6-pack, and it's 4 games left. I'm just saying, you're going to need some liquor before for the season, where this team looking. Might as well go support. You can get the 1 bottle for $29, or you can get the 6-pack for like $100 and something. But all that money helps go back to the NIL. We also support the track team, both myself and the O&G StrikeZone. We're supporting the track team this year, so support in any way you can. We definitely would love if you supported our mechanisms, just because we know there's a Rattler Athletic Fund, but we also know how the Rattler Athletic Fund works. I'm not going to slander anybody right here. Look, if you are going to be at the Florida Classic, especially, if you're a certain organization, the best tailgate that is not affiliated with Kelvin is going to be the Newt tailgate, Winter Park alumni. We're going to show out. We're going to win the tailgate again. Last year we had oysters on the grill. We bougie, but we party right. So, if you want to come hang out with the good brothers from Kappa Alpha Psi Fraternity Incorporated, we're going to be here. Check out the gorgeous event, first Friday this week. So, a portion of those proceeds go to support the Kappa League, which my son is a member of the Kappa League, and I'm also working with the Kappa League. So look, I do too many things, but everything I do is for the love, and mostly for the love of FAMU. So, and again, Thursday, Sunday, we'll be here, and then Monday too. Kelvin, I said too much. It's your turn.
Well, first of all, let me say shout out to Ken Clark and that JSU crew that came by the tailgate and ate a little bit and broke bread. And it was my first time meeting a lot of those guys. So, you know, it was good to meet those guys, man. And like Steve said, when I went to Jackson last year, in person, the fan base is great.
Yep.
They're very hospitable. They're fun. They're fun. There's no rudeness, nothing. I've not had a bad interaction with any of them.
In person.
So I enjoy it. I love that this is becoming a rivalry, but we got to punch them in the mouth to make it a full-fledged rivalry. But you know, O&G StrikeZone Wednesday. We start at 8:00, go to 10 officially, but you know, a lot of times we go to 11.
I'm glad you put that disclaimer out there. I was actually about to correct you.
Look, I had to let the wife know one night. She's like, "Y'all still go?" I said, "Baby, we still going. We're still going."
Yeah, Bryan can be long-winded sometimes.
We can't blame Bryan tonight. You done went almost 2 hours tonight too.
Look,
we did. We did. But yeah, you can catch us on Wednesday, every Wednesday, 8 to 10, everything FAMU. Center around athletics a lot, but we also talk about FAMU culture, business, administration, you know, whatever FAMU news that's happening. And of course, you know, we got this review show we do on Mondays at 7:00, 7 to 8. And we always have special guests, man. Shout out to all my other fellow podcasters, the ones here, as well as the ones who come on and support us, you know, from Live to what's my man? Penalty Talk, all those guys. So yeah. But thank you for watching. We appreciate you. We love you. Thank you to the guests for coming on and
for having us.
And putting your voice in it, man. It's important. And thank you for all the hard work y'all do in terms of fundraising, man. It's really important, man. We don't just talk the talk, we walk the walk, and make sure that FAMU can be the best version of itself. And we hold FAMU accountable to make sure that they do just that. And that's what I love about Rattler Nation, man. We don't just sit back and accept things. We make things happen, and we're going to continue to do that. So that's all I got.
All right, man. Look,
thank you for having me on. I appreciate it.
We got the dream team right here, man. So, you know, Monday, I love the fact we get to have a little FAMU reunion, especially past couple weeks. So definitely enjoying that. If you are so inclined, the Dallas Cowboys are playing right now. That is my favorite football team. Them and the Bucks. I ain't loyal to nothing but my wife and my family. But Marquise Bell is in the game tonight. So if you haven't been watching, he has gotten in. He is number 14 for the Dallas Cowboys. They also have a number 41, so don't get confused. His number did change. So we like to say support our Rattlers, but in this case, hey, go watch the Rattlers. Also, Terrell Jennings scored his first NFL touchdown. I wore my Terrell Jennings yesterday.
Congratulations, Terrell.
So congratulations. You got two Rattler Cowboys playing tonight. I think Isaiah Land's on the bench.
Yeah.
And don't forget James Houston for Jackson State. He's been killing it too. So you got to give him credit. And as they said, when you meet all the Jackson State fans in real life, they're really cool. Shout out to my Delta guy. He already knows, man. I was picking and messing with him. I said, hey, I don't like how y'all treated us on the football field. Yeah. And Brother Jeff Sloan was like, hey, Mike Chappelle was laughing too, like, hey, it just happened. But it was none of that foolishness you see on the internet. So, look, we'll be back here. Y'all know tomorrow, Bishop Bonnet, Penalty Talk, Coach's Corner, Wednesday, O&G StrikeZone, Thursday, FangsUp and Fang Exchange, and then Friday, you know, get you a day off. So Saturday, you know, HBCU go, you can watch the Rattlers, and Sunday, and then Monday we'll come right back with it. Y'all already know what it's about to be and what it's always on. It's going to be Fangs Up, and the Rattlers going to strike and strike and strike again. Good night, and y'all be safe. Support the Fang Exchange.
Rattlers.
Buy some liquor.